Hey, what up, Jay Foreman, DP, Austin, Old School. We are back. We'll do it quick. We were brought to you by the Mercado, Certified Piedmontese, Special Ingredients, the Butcher Shop. Had Dr. Finn from AMI in here before. Now we got two other special guests. We got my man Charles.
Charles been at work today.
He been chilling. But hey, that's all good.
Charles went to work today. On his day off. So I texted him. I said, hey, man, are you on the truck? Because I thought maybe Tuesday he's on the truck. He's like, nope. And he was on the road. He says, I said, well, Coach Bird's coming. I want y'all to meet because the Supernovas deserve Mary Ellen.
Yeah, they deserve Mary Ellen. So we have Coach Bird in here from the Supernovas. Never met you before, but congratulations. I went to the first game, but then after the first game, you obviously were promoted to head coach. Before we get to you, though, I used to, when Charles only had the truck, I'll never forget this. It was a snowy, and you were at 40th and South there at that gas station. Mm-hmm. Listen, it was a blizzard. But I just fell into him on a humbug out on 27th and Nebraska Highway up there, and it was hitting the greens and everything. So then he would post it on Facebook. Snowstorm. So when I had my white Tahoe, put that bad boy in four-wheel drive, and I was first in line because he went from like 6 to 10. I knew to get there at 5:30. Yeah. So you just put the defrost on, listen to the radio there. And he opened it and he looked at me like, yeah, you back. So I'm back.
Charles, here's the
ain't
thing.
Left since.
Here's the thing about Charles. And my grandmother would always say, somebody cooks for you, that's love.
Yeah.
Right? But my grandma would also say, don't let everybody cook for you.
Right.
Don't let everybody cook for you, right?
You get the seal of approval, brother.
Right. Don't let them cook for you. So they told me about Charles. They told me about Mary Ellen. And the first time I bit into the collard greens, I had, as we said, that conversation. I had to have a conversation with myself.
Yeah.
Like, DP, don't act a fool. Don't act ignorant. Don't lose your mind. But damn.
Yeah, you got to do the, I did the quick taste before I left the parking lot out there at 27th Nebraska Highway. Then I was like, no, I'm just going to go to park right here and just eat this right here. It's everything.
Oh, you can't wait. It's not possible. It's not possible. And so we had the opportunity. We made a decision. And Becky likes to cook. But one Thanksgiving, she just looked at me and she goes, we love Charles, don't we? I was like, yeah. She goes, let's ask him. So Charles hooked up the Thanksgiving dinner. Listen, we was in the kitchen dancing.
Oh, I hear you. That's like, when you know the food's good. That's right.
There was no music. But we were.
You guys are too kind. Too kind.
Now, Coach Bird, before
I love how he's just sitting up there, just like, yeah.
Coach, before we get into Supernovas, okay.
We got her for a while. So
okay, I was told though. I was just told by somebody that if we need to debate LeBron against
we're
Jordan,
definitely debating this.
We can do this. I'm here for it. I grew up watching Jordan letting me down all the time in the playoffs, one and done.
Letting you down?
Jordan, getting swept. And then he went, and when he started winning championships, when he started playing like LeBron. James, Bron.
God.
Bron.
I don't even know who Jay is right now. Like, I don't even know who he is. See,
because I know I can talk to her.
Who is that?
Because Strick is not sensible. Listen, if I need 40 points, I'm hiring Jordan. If I want me the best all-around player, it's either LeBron or who else? Who else, Austin? The Magic Man. Yes.
What?
Say it with me, Austin. The Magic Man.
What?
The Magic Man.
What? So now, since Doc Finn left, are your feet
hurting? Who's the Magic Man? Magic Johnson?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are we serious?
Look,
I'm still...
Get him. What? Get him, Coach. Get him.
I had to welcome you to the club.
I don't not like LeBron, but Jordan wins. He wins.
Yeah, he wins.
So are we just talking about I guess if you want to break it down like best player, skill for skill, or I would still take Jordan if they played one-on-one.
Get him.
Get him. See, listen. Jordan went against a bunch of guys that were smoking cigarettes, Craig Elo, and all them dudes.
Stop it!
I mean, come on. Them dudes at the Wyatt, Jeff Hornacek, and all them dudes, Mark Price.
Okay,
listen,
he wasn't staying up all night smoking cigars, cigars, gambling.
That lets you know. He could go out there, play 36 holes, go against Craig Elo, knocking in the door, talking about I'm gonna hit 45.
I'm sweating.
Jay, they are roasting you on the text line.
That's fine.
They are roasting you.
Here's the difference between me and everybody else. I love Jordan. He is the ultimate assassin.
Okay.
I understand
appreciate that.
Right? And if I had to win one game, that's the dude. Because I know I can count on him for 70, especially right now. But when I'm talking about being a all-around basketball player, and I've been blessed to see both of them up close and there's no comparison.
I just
There's
wanted
no
to ask a quick question. Do you know who else wins? Phil Jackson.
I love Phil Jackson.
How about that?
Also
Yeah.
love Phil
So-
Jackson.
So
How about
Also
that?
love him.
Yeah.
LeBron never had a Phil Jackson.
I'm sweating.
That's all right. I mean,
I
look,
agree with you on that.
Yeah.
I actually agree. I listened to his whole podcast when I was driving across the country last year.
Well, he did have Pat Riley. That's like
Eh,
you in the neighborhood.
He had Eric
Like
Spoelstra.
you're in the
Okay.
neighborhood of elite. Like you're in the neighborhood. Look, there's three coaches that have four coaches who are in that conversation. Four. There's Phil. There's Mr. Riley. There's Red Auerbach, and then there's that dude down in San Antonio.
Right.
Everybody else gets in line.
You don't
If
like his name?
Popovich.
I do. Coach Pop. It's like saying
I like
it's
that.
like saying Dr. Tom Osborne. I have to say it in full if I'm going to say it at all.
Okay.
I have that much respect for
All
him.
right.
I just want to say, listen, I want you, we're going to get back to this Jordan talk, but Charles, I want you to, what did you bring Coach Bird today?
Oh, we are all over the place. I love
Coach
this.
Bird.
I love this conversation.
What did you bring her?
I brought her some rib tips,
Ooh.
some walleye, some fried chickens, and everything's fresh out of the grease. So some collard greens,
Uh-huh.
cabbage mix.
Mhm.
We brought some coleslaw. We brought some sweet potatoes, some baked beans, and some cornbread. Just to give you a
Just
taste.
giving you a little bit of everything.
Yeah, we should have just brought it in here. That would have been rude.
Oh,
to
we've
be
done
in
it.
front
We've
of the
done
people.
that was the
That
normal.
would have been rude.
We were there, like, because then we would just be eating and not
Yeah.
talking.
Mhm.
So through that, explain to her how you prepared said rib tips.
Oh, well, there's a process where we season them, then we throw them in the fridge overnight, and then we hickory smoke them for about 4.5 hours till they're nice and tender, and then we chop them up in little pieces, bite sizes. It's almost like a wing, but it's just the end of a rib. And
Love that.
a lot of people don't know what rib tips are, but it's just the spare rib, the end cut off, and then we smoke those with hickory smoke. And
Now
I
I'm drooling.
love 'em
I'm already
myself.
drooling.
but I wish the world knew about rib tips. But as you know, you can stop down at Mary Ellen's and try some. But yeah, that's how we do it.
And this is what we get to do during the next break.
Yeah, you get to take we'll take a long break so you can nibble and you get some understanding, and then we'll come back and we'll get into Supernovas. We'll get into your time at Texas A&M. I need you to explain to folks why somebody would possibly leave Lincoln, Nebraska, and go to College Station, and why they should leave.
Oh, we're gonna eat it. How long am I here?
Yeah.
What's happening today? What's going on?
Yeah,
I didn't know what I was in for when I showed up.
Here's the thing. Here's what we know about Coach Bird. Well, here's what I know about her. She's going to have her own show before we're said and done, because she knows sports, she knows people, and she's a great conversation. So I think this is just the launch. I need to get her in the room to
We have
witness
so
what
much to talk
happened.
about.
It's all right. I mean, Austin over there, I caught you off guard. He told me.
No, not at all.
I was taking an important phone call, and he's like, "Hey, if you want to get Coach Bird going,"
I instantly was
yeah.
sweating when you started talking. I was like, "Wait, what's happening?"
He
You're like,
did
"I've never
instigate.
met you,"
Yeah.
but first I'm like, "Here we go."
Yeah.
Yeah, he,
Well,
he teed you up.
He's a Duke fan.
He said-
so you have
yeah.
to understand.
Yeah,
that.
what are you wearing?
I wasn't going to bring it up, but that 4-12 game went the way we all saw it going. DP.
Oh, listen to her. Listen. You see this? This is what we deal with every day.
What's the 4-12?
See, he's happy
The
now.
4-12 game.
Yeah, ACC.
It was my Duke Blue Devils versus DP's James Madison Dukes.
Yeah.
I actually
Mm.
picked Duke, but I really deep down wanted James Madison to win.
because there's some Dukes in the league, and there's
Yeah,
Duke
yeah,
on the
mhm.
Supernovas.
Mhm.
So blasphemer.
But now, what's his name's at Vanderbilt?
Yeah, he moved. So
That was wild.
It's gonna
It
be,
wasn't wild.
and your time. So, and you've been all over the country, so there's lots that we can kind of check in with you on, and we want to do that. So, Austin, let's get to break. I want to thank Charles on
Thank
air
you,
for
Charles.
doing what
Appreciate
you do,
you guys having
and for
me.
being
Thank you,
who you
Charles.
are.
Anytime.
already.
Yeah, and then we're gonna let
In
Coach
advance.
Bird go sample the goodies, and then we'll come back. We'll talk volleyball, we'll talk basketball, we'll talk College Station with Coach Bird here on the Ticket.
Back to Old School with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up? We are back. Jay Foreman, DP, Austin, Coach Bird, head coach of the Supernovas. Now we can get back to regular scheduled programming. We have to get the ranking now after having some Mary Ellens.
I'm gonna eat way more of it. I just sampled a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
And it was very good. I might have broke a fork, but yeah.
Well,
I like all of it.
He's committed to feeding the team, and the menu is crazy.
They'll lose their minds over that.
Yeah, and but that's why I wanted y'all to meet today, to make sure that you knew who he was, he knew who you was, and to get you in front of that team, and we'll take care of them. And we need to get the team down here so they can see everything and get them in the building. And we'll have a coffee fest, and we have some sponsors.
You know what they love. You've traveled with us.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. So one of our partners is the chocolate season, and they have it's a tour of chocolate here in Lincoln. And they are like, yeah, we'll get them through. Sofa Casino, they're out on what's that? Havelock, and they Chubbs can cook, and they all want to feed you. They want to feed the team. So we're gonna take care of you in Lincoln. I know you got the Omaha title, but we're gonna take care of you in Lincoln. We just need to
come visit.
Yep,
we'll do a little trip over here.
Get you down here. Coach. It is really cool time in watching the Pro Volleyball Federation kind of expand. Like we saw the seeds and the bud, and now the flowers are blooming, and you get to see Columbus become a factor. Watching Grand Rapids, of course, the next opponent, kind of develop, and then Atlanta and the rivalry, even though it's not supposed to be a rivalry, it is already.
That was created, but now all the teams. I mean,
it's good.
You can see the competition is just getting better and better.
Is it everything you thought it would be?
No, because none of us knew what it would be. So this is, it's cool for the athletes. It's cool for all of us that are a part of it because it's blown up, really. I don't think we didn't know what to expect. So now, just to see it take off this way, and then once March Madness is over, we'll be on CBS. So that's going to be huge. But it's going to be the best volleyball too, I think, the second half of the season. Think about this. You couldn't project 11,000 plus, 12,000 plus to come watch you play. That's spectacular. What do you think the key is? What's the magic that makes when people show up to CHI Health Center to see the Supernovas play, why they want to come back and then tell their friends? Well, I think it's the energy of the sport. Volleyball is always fun and entertaining. But the atmosphere, even on the road, it's an event. I just did the TV thing this morning. When you talk before the games, you just give us whatever. Yeah. But I've gotten to know them. And so I actually agreed if he can figure it out. And I'm against this. When they're like, oh, can we talk to you? Like during the break, like between sets 2 and 3, or how they do in the Final Four now. Well, now even March Madness, they're talking to coaches during timeouts. And it's entertaining because it's like, what are they really going to say? And so today I go, you know what? He's like, if we just got a headset, you could just put it on and then we could ask you something. And I'm like, maybe. I go, only because I like you guys and I've gotten to know you, maybe I would do that during a match. Because it would be entertaining. Hey, well, what just happened? Like, what are these calls? Like, whatever. It would be fun in game. And it's more about the entertainment factor for people watching. I'm going to clip that. And that maybe I will. I'm going to clip that and waving you over at intermission, like, Coach, let's go. Yeah, I was like, maybe.
We'll have the clip. We'll have Rico text it to you.
Yeah, there.
So that way, just between every set, it's in your ear. Like, hey, you got to come over here because we have your word now.
Like, we have this question for you.
Isn't it more fun walking into maybe they'll ask you about Jordan and LeBron again on air?
I definitely appreciate that. Didn't see that coming. I had no idea what he was going to say. I was like, what is happening right now? And then it was that. Yeah, I am all about not having the question before I go into an interview. People are like, we'll send you the questions. I'm like, you don't have to.
Coach, I want to always ask, obviously, for people, we've asked numerous people, but from a coach's perspective, I think it's a better view of the difference between championship type of college volleyball and professional volleyball. Explain it, because I don't think really I witnessed it first. I mean, just by warm-ups, I was like, whoa, like, hey, this is different than what I'm seeing in Nebraska's obviously great. Explain the difference, because for me, is the speed, it was the power, it was the athleticism, it was like a totally different speed that I was used to seeing.
Yeah, and I think the highest level of volleyball, even in college, you have a handful of players on both sides that are that. Pro, it's the whole team. Like even our roster, our depth in our roster allows us to compete at the highest level, even in practice. And a lot of teams have that, but it's the defense. I mean, the rallies are insane. And especially now that we've all been playing more, like that stuff that it's like you almost take it for granted, even us just watching it every day.
Right.
The plays that they're making and like having to terminate in transition. Well, yeah, it's like a lot easier said than done. It's not as fast as when you're coaching college, and even the scouting. It's like you can scout someone, but then they have every other shot. So it's kind of like you're not being sarcastic, but you're like, yeah, well, they're good. They can do that too.
Right.
So you can't just necessarily shut one thing down and think that's going to stop a player. But no, it's the defense and it's the overall caliber of everyone on the court.
And when you're coaching a game, is there ever a point where you're like, all right, we got them, right? Is it that from 17 to 20, or is it like, is the first team to 22? Because again, you can kind of fork it. Because I know when I coach basketball, I was like, all right, we get under 2 minutes, we got 5-point lead. It's game, set, match.
Under 2 minutes?
When you're coaching summer basketball, now granted, we don't have 85 timeouts.
Did you watch the Texas A&M
I coach
Houston game?
I coach AAU basketball. It's different than we don't have TV timeouts under 4. We don't have all that.
Yeah.
Listen, them refs need beer money. They want you on and off that bad boy. So if I know what the refs are, I know which one we're getting out of there. Plus, you got parents doing the clocks and stuff. So is there a certain point in the match when you get to a certain point that you're like, okay, I know?
No.
No?
Rarely. I mean, no. For us, in certain sets when we didn't play well, yeah, I knew it was over for us. But no, I mean, I think the game is so much led by momentum. Like you have to stay on it. Like if you allow someone to get 3 points and they're within, I think if you're within 3, for sure you're still in it. 5 even in volleyball, because it's like the whole goal is to string points and to stop that. So that's very rare that I inside ever relax and think, oh yeah, we got this. Especially with these teams, these opponents. I mean, yeah.
Coach, let them know about some of the players in this federation, because folks will know the number 1 draft pick and they'll know former Nebraska players, but there's some talent in this league.
Oh yeah.
Give the folks a little bit of a rundown about the caliber of talent that's in this federation.
Yeah, I mean, any night there's going to be a handful of players that have either played internationally for over 10 years, or they've just there's like grads, like rookies playing. Reagan Cooper from Kansas, my Jayhawk, she's crushing it in Columbus, and no one would have thought that because she didn't really play 6 rotations in college, but her, Asia O'Neal, like as rookies are dominating. And then you got Leah Edmond down in Atlanta, and Stumler, which they're awesome. They played at Kentucky. But across the, I mean, there's so many players internationally and from the States, but yeah, it's like every night, every team has someone.
You broke it down for us before we even got started in the season. Like, don't think that just because it's Nebraska, because it's Omaha, that this team's going to be put together and going to run through this league. And I asked Coach Saunders how many wins she thought in a 24-win season would get you into the playoffs. And that number has wavered quite a bit. over the course of it that, quite frankly, it could be 13, 14 wins gets you in the 14 playoff because there's so much depth. You don't even talk about winning.
No.
You talk about playing the game the right way. And I love that so much because it's a conversation we have on the show all the time.
You just said that you asked her that. I'm like, gosh, what was her answer? I don't even know what I would have said. I don't even know what I would say right now. I don't even know what number I would have even thrown out.
Even at 8-3, 9-4, you don't know what it'll take to finish. I think she said 15 would be, she would start to rest easy if this team got to 15 wins.
But I instantly think of how many losses that it is, and it's annoying. But it's like, but it's also a very good league. So, but even sometimes now I think about our record and it's annoying, but it's a good league. So.
like you've played above and beyond, except your own standard, and that's important because they match up every day, playing to that day's standard. They have to match up and be better than they were yesterday, and the person they're playing against, who's also a national team player from somewhere, right? So, how do you handle?
That's also what's so fun about practice.
The competitive battle every day.
Yeah. And I've been not overanalyzing. Just always
you
overanalyze.
That's 100% true.
Because you know how coaches, and you guys are all like have coached or sports in general, you lean towards lineups or you always work on things with starters. Like I've gone away from that with this team. Like genuinely gone away from it because the raw competition and how the level of play we get just by mixing everyone up. And obviously we've mixed up our entire lineup on any given night.
Yeah.
So to me, it's like you guys are pros. Everyone's competing. It's that close in the gym. We just mix it up all the time. And it's better to just have that competition than to like focus on like overworking something that you might not even, it could change.
Well, Jay likes to talk about, the championship years here at Nebraska, that him as a freshman and a sophomore, he had some monsters around him. And so the standard was always, and he knew on the other side of the ball, oh, there's a future Hall of Famer and his backup, who's a future Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
So practices were almost more competitive than games. I think that happens for the Supernovas.
Yeah, I think that's a great way to go about it because it's different than obviously coaching what club teams or whatever they're called.
Right.
You're coaching adults and they all have played professionally. I wanted to ask you the schedule. Obviously, I know what the schedule is because DP, obviously my partner, he's gone.
Right.
And I want to ask you about this little bit of a break that you've gotten, a little bit of, what have you wanted to work on with this break? Is it rest and recovery? Because traveling's hard. People don't realize, all people see is like when you just roll out there, in our case, or your case, Thursday night. They don't understand flying, sleeping in a hotel, training on the road, playing, getting on a plane. That's hard. What are some of the things you maybe have focused on as a staff and as a team with this little bit of a little bit of break at home?
Last week, we worked a lot on just our defense, our blocking defense, just being cleaner with that stuff. And I think it's good. It's things that you take for granted because, they're professionals. They've played at the highest level. But then we get in drill. We do some of this stuff, and it's like they're having genuine conversations on like whose ball is this and this seam and things like. And I'm like, wow, okay, we definitely need to break this down. And it's cool. Like it's awesome. So that was last week. And then we gave them 3 days. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, they were off. It's just good to get time away and people took trips. Like I even went to Phoenix.
Sure.
And then we got back in and it was probably the best Monday practice we had yesterday.
Refresh.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they were locked in. And I think it's because they are mature. They know we have basically 4 games in the next 8 days.
Right.
So we didn't have time to like ease back in. It's like we just got after it. And so that's something that I have appreciated and I respect about them is how they can lock in and like know like what their job is and that we have to be locked back in. And this week it's just been competing again. Like we obviously it's the first contacts is what we always talk about, serve and pass. So we always do that and then just get them into just live play.
When I think of like great players, there's always a behind the scenes like practice story that no one knows. It comes out down the road. Have any of your players just like dominated a practice where nothing anyone?
Are you insinuating when Michael Jordan they passed the torch to him?
I think about Jordan and the Dream Team. I think about Jimmy Butler taking the third stringers in Minnesota.
Yeah.
Jace Timberwolves.
Yeah, man. I know playing against Kevin Duckworth so hard. You know what I mean?
God.
Jerome
You
Kearse.
make my palms sweat. Like we can't change who the opponents were.
You don't.
I
You
know.
don't have to.
Oh my God.
We settled this. We settled
Dad.
it. We both came to a compromise. Imagine that. You know, it's great. Right? Jordan's the best scorer. LeBron's a little bit more skilled. Bigger, faster, stronger. That's all. I mean, that's no big deal. I mean,
Yeah, that's factual.
I could back down
He's
my plumber
6'8".
pretty good.
He's
know?
6'8". Michael Jordan's 6'6".
Even with your back that needs fusion and your sleep footedness.
Yeah, my neighbor's about 5'9". You know, I could back. I think Phil very easily I could take him out back. You know,
I want to
Because you're
go
skilled.
pull
Maybe
up
that's
like
this.
highlights.
This is literally. I mean,
It's never gonna end.
no,
I
it
can't.
never will. But this is why.
that's the great thing about it, right? It's like
It'll never
Joe
be answered.
Montana versus Tom Brady. Do
The
you know?
answer's
Do you know
Yes.
do you know who Joe Montana is?
Yes.
Who do you think is the best of all time?
I don't know. I get to
Say Peyton.
It's not it.
not even it.
Not Peyton.
Because there's people that will argue Joe Montana's 4-0 in Super Bowls. There are people that say Brady has 7 of them. Now he's lost 4, but he still has 7.
I guess the
championships.
way my mind works is if they played against each other, who would win? Just like if LeBron
Joe
played
Cool
against,
was it, baby.
if Michael Jordan and LeBron James played against each other, I would take Jordan.
Jordan would murder him.
1-on-1.
Yes.
He would murder him.
No.
LeBron couldn't put the ball on the floor.
No.
He couldn't put it on the floor. He's
I guess
got no offense.
I just want to see it.
No.
I just
Yeah.
want to live it.
He would
Yeah.
literally just run right over him.
Oh, so you're doing it no official.
Listen, if you do not realize LeBron's
I know he is like a tight end.
275 pounds
Yeah, he's
with
huge.
a 4.44. Listen, man, it's we can get back to volleyball.
Yeah,
I wanted to ask you
I
this.
needed
I wanted
to.
to
The
ask
way
you
he
this.
asked that though, I had to.
I know.
I had to.
Austin's a slickster over here. He's
I
the one that
know.
set you up
I
over here. Then
know.
he tried to
That's
get
how
the
I had to bring it back.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you, what made you get into coaching? Like, what was it? Was it always something that you wanted to
No.
do, or was it a coach that influenced you, or an experience?
No, I never thought I wanted to coach. We were working camps in Atlanta. I played at Georgia Tech.
Yep.
And even then, it was probably like my junior year. Maybe I thought about it. But then I was just working at Delta, even 2 years. It was like a year after I'd graduated, and I never wanted to leave Atlanta. And then my coach put my name out there because people always called. And I'm like, God, I don't want to leave Atlanta. I like bawled, I cried leaving
you had to
Atlanta
leave,
when I took a coaching job. So no, I don't know. My dad was my basketball coach. I think I've been a basketball person, a sports person my whole life. But I did not. I went to college as business, and I never thought about coaching. But then I started coaching and I liked it. But then I was always like, I'm never going to be a head coach. No, I don't want to. I used to argue with my dad. I don't know if I ever told you that story.
Mm.
I was at Miami as an assistant in like my second or third season, and he was always like, "When you become a head coach, Bertie, are you going to hire me?" And I'm like, "No, that's your dream. Like, no, that's not going to happen."
You left your dad on read. You
Oh,
left him,
Yeah,
still
I'm
ain't
like,
hired him
no,
yet, huh?
yeah. Well, but then he passed away
Oh,
in 2010
yeah.
when I was in Miami still. So then I debated getting out of coaching,
Uh-huh.
and I ended up taking the job in Kansas within like 3 months. And it's a basketball school. So then I go
Yeah.
up there. This is me. You'll learn this about me. I have like my opinions on certain things, but some things I know nothing about, including I go on that interview and I'm like, oh, this is like a basketball school. Had no clue. I didn't know who Danny Manning was. I didn't know Coach Self. I go on this interview and I call my mom and I'm like, dude, this is like crazy. I feel like dad should be here. And she's like, I can't believe you don't know who I met all of them. And
Right.
she's like, yes, of course. And she knows all of this because of him. And I'm like clueless over here, just living my own life. So I ended up being there for 7 years. And then it was at some point when I was there that I was like, yeah, I could be a head coach. I don't know. It's been crazy. It was never really a goal.
Yeah.
Dad as a coach was the seed planted.
Yeah.
As much as you liked to.
Yeah, you probably saw it in you before you saw it yourself, right?
Yeah.
He saw a lot of things.
Yeah.
He
There's
kicked me
that.
out of the gym one time. It was great.
Out of the basketball gym?
Yeah.
Jordan ever kick anyone out of a gym?
He did.
My guy. I like him.
Oh, it's so good.
I
Hey,
saw a really good video about Jordan the other day. Is that he was the however many time NBA champion. Michael Finley was a high school player of the year. You know, in Chicago.
Okay.
High school. Jordan took it upon himself to beat him 3-1 and 3-1 and 1-on-1.
Yeah, he's not going to let him win.
Yeah.
Squash him early.
Yeah,
Are you saying that it's his opponent?
Michael Finley was there in jeans. And he's like, yeah, let me go out. Let's play one-on-one at Chicago.
Ask Jay about what he did to freshman running backs. What he did to freshman running backs at the University of Nebraska.
I was an upstanding leader of the team.
What was your nickname? What was your nickname? What was your nickname?
I never
Debo
introduced them to the Nebraska way. Never would do anything like that.
Debo. It wasn't Prince Foreman. It was Debo.
Only thing I didn't do, I just didn't do it to him on the recruiting visit. You know, if you're on a recruiting visit,
you're selling
I want you to come. Right. I'm not going to say, hey, man, here's some pads, some 2 small shoes. Let's do goal line drill. And do all that. And then I put it on TV.
Let's go to break. Let's get Coach Bird out of here until we bring her back.
Old school will be back.
Yeah.
Coach Bird, listen, I will be at Supernovas game. I was phenomenal. I'm impressed by the way you guys play. You're always welcome back. This debate is not over. It's not over. I want you to go back. I want you to go.
I have so many things I'm going to find tonight.
That's what I want
you to
do. Yeah, that's all right. We're good with it.